Hey everyone, it's Caitlin from the Stearns History Museum, back with another historic cocktail tutorial. You probably all are familiar with the Bloody Mary. It's very popular at brunches or perhaps for curing a hangover you might have from the night before. But today we're going to talk about Mary's Canadian cousin, the Caesar. Simply put, the difference between a Bloody Mary and a Caesar is the clam juice, but it's actually not that simple. The inventor of the Caesar, whose name was Walter Chell, actually put a great deal of time and thought into perfecting the proportions of the tomato juice and the clam juice that went into the drink. Walter Chell was a bartender at the Calgary Inn, and he was given the assignment of coming up with a signature cocktail for the hotel's new Italian restaurant named Marco's in 1969. Walter Chell drew inspiration from his favorite Italian dish, spaghetti vongole, which has a strong infusion of tomato and clam flavors. Chell took about 3 months to perfect his cocktail. He created something called clam nectar by mashing up clams and then injecting that into tomato juice, making a clam-infused tomato beverage. While to many of us the idea of a clam-flavored beverage is not the first thought in our minds, it was actually not unheard of at the time, as clam-infused cocktails had appeared in the Betty Crocker cookbook in the 1950s. So the cocktail became a hit in Calgary, and not long after that, Mott's Beverage Company created a clam-infused tomato beverage called Clamato, making it more popular in the country and beyond. Even today, some 50 years later, it is considered the unofficial cocktail in Canada. It hasn't become as popular in the United States, but why not mix things up today and try a Caesar instead of a Bloody Mary? So clearly, we have a few more ingredients than normal for the Caesar, but the main alcohol you need is vodka. And obviously the other staple is going to be your Clamato. Now you're also going to need some ice, which I have in this cup here, some Worcestershire sauce, hopefully I said that right, some Tabasco sauce, I have chipotle flavored, whatever you have is fine, celery salt, which I have in here and here, and lime wedges. That should do it. So the first thing you're going to do is actually take one of your lime wedges and you're going to take your tumbler here and you're going to wet the rim of the glass like that and then set it aside for your garnish. And then you are going to dip that rim in the celery salt so that the top of your glass is going to be rimmed with celery salt. Your next step is just to add ice to the glass till it's just about to the top. So now you're just going to add your core ingredients. So you want about 1 ounce of vodka, and I don't have a shot glass around, so in case you're wondering, there is 2 tablespoons in an ounce. So we'll just do it that way. There's 1 and 2. So then you're going to add your Worcestershire sauce and your Tabasco sauce, or whatever hot sauce you have, and you really just want a dash of each. You can kind of do it to taste. It might take you a couple of times to figure out how much you like in yours. If you don't like things super spicy, don't put too much of this in there. And I imagine you can skip this altogether if you want to. So next, you're just going to top it with the Clamato. You want to make sure you leave room for your garnishes, because if you want, you can really add a lot of garnishes. Traditionally, the garnishes are just a celery stick and a lime wedge. And that's it. But if you've ever been to a Bloody Mary bar, or in this case a Caesar bar, there's a lot of other options out there. So once you have chosen your garnishes, and I have chosen to go traditional here, you just take a straw, and there's your Caesar. So if you're missing going out to brunch the way we used to, and you're jonesing for just a Bloody Mary at home, Perhaps you can put a Canadian spin on things and try a Caesar instead, with some Clamato juice that you can really find anywhere. Walter Chell did not patent his creation. He didn't die a very wealthy man, but it's important that we give him credit for his lovely invention.